So this tutorial is about drawing and manipulating forces as vectors. We know that vector quantities have got magnitude and direction, and they can be represented as arrows. And the direction the arrow is pointing in represents the direction of the vector, and the length of the arrow represents the magnitude of the vector. And so this tutorial is really focusing on using scale diagrams to find out other properties of the vector. So the first thing that we're going to refresh again that we looked at in the previous lesson was how to draw scale diagrams to find the resultant force of two co-planar forces. The second technique we're going to look at is how to draw scale diagrams to find the resultant force acting on an object that's in equilibrium. And the third skill we're going to look at is drawing scale diagrams to resolve a vector into two perpendicular components. So there's three different skills we're going to be looking at here. We're aiming to be confident in using all of them, and if we can be confident in using all of them, then we're going to be able to solve any of the problems that might come up in examinations and so on, and it allows us to do lots of other cool things when we move on to sixth form. So remember to use the pause button, ask any questions as you need to as you go along, and you are going to need a protractor, a ruler, a pencil and some paper for these scale diagrams. Okay, so skill number 1, drawing scale diagrams to find the resultant force of two coplanar forces. Now, by coplanar, we mean they're not perpendicular, so they're not at right angles, but they're also not planar in that they're not both parallel to each other. So they're somewhere in between. So we're going to, in this situation, we're going to use scale diagrams to find the magnitude and the angle of the resultant force. As you progress further with your maths, you'll find and come across some trig identities that will allow you to calculate this, but that's not required at GCSE, just the drawing of the scale diagrams. Okay, so as we saw in the last lesson, in order to find the resultant vector in this situation, we're going to draw a parallelogram to scale, and the diagonal of the parallelogram is the resultant vector. So what's really nice about this is I've got a little ruler here with a protractor in it. So you'd have to use a combination of the two if you're doing it on paper. So what I'm going to do first of all, because it's a scale diagram, I'm going to measure how long this is. I'm going to measure the angle, check I've got that. Just so. There, I think that's it. So if I tap on that, I think it was 60 degrees. And this arrow here on this scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long. So I'm now going to draw a line parallel to this vector from the tip of the other one here. So I have to keep it at the same angle, so it's at 60, and it's going to go from the tip of this arrow here, and it's going to be 5 long, so I'll just move my arrow to there. All of my working is going to be in this light blue colour, so I have to now draw a line that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long like that. So there's that line. So just to be really clear, this line here is parallel to this line and the same length. Okay. Oh, where's my ruler gone? Let's get my ruler back. Here it is. It's all fine. And now I need to draw another line that's parallel to this red line, but goes from the tip of this arrow and joins up there. So I just double check how my measurements are going, so I'll line it up there. So this again is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll move my ruler up here. I'm going to draw my line across. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's lining up quite nicely. So that's good. So here is my parallelogram. Now the resultant vector is the diagonal, so it's going to go from this corner here up to this corner here. So I'm going to line that up. I think that's probably about as good as I can get it. So I'm just going to pick another colour to make it super clear. So I now draw this line in from that corner to that corner. Now the length of this arrow is going to tell me the magnitude, and the direction, the angle is going to give me the direction. So if I measure this here on the previous, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 3/4 on this scale. So I'm just going to write that down there. That's just on this scale here, that's not in newtons. So in my previous scale, I had 5 on the scale is equal to 10 newtons, and now I've got 9.75 is equal to however many newtons I want to find out. So I can say that, let's do it like this, 10 over 5 is equal to x over 9.75. So x is equal to 9.75 times 10 divided by 5. So I have got 9.75 times 2, which is going to be 19.5. So the magnitude of this resultant force is 19.5 newtons. I'm going to put it in a little box so it's really easier for the examiner to see. Oh, that really has gone a bit crazy. And now I'm going to measure the angle. So if that's 90, what angle is this one at here? I'm going to say 74 degrees. And I'll just put from north, or you could say from up, whatever situation you're in. So here's my magnitude, here's my direction, job done. Remember, this sort of question is going to have 4 to 5 marks available for it. So even if you don't get all 5 marks, that's not a massive problem. You can still get lots. You get a mark for drawing in the parallelogram with the parallel lines. You get another mark for marking in the diagonal. If you make any attempt to measure the diagonal and put this number down here, that will get you another mark. If you then use the scale to convert it to the actual magnitude with units, that will get you another mark. And you get another mark for measuring this angle here with the protractor. So, skill number 2, draw scale diagrams to find the resultant force of an object in equilibrium. Now this might sound a bit counterintuitive, but it's quite a useful skill to bear in mind. So obviously you can look at these numbers here, and you know that these are planar forces, they're parallel to each other. So 6 newtons in this direction, let's say this is positive, 6 newtons in this direction, this is negative, so they add together to make 0 newtons. And the same here, we've got 8 newtons in the up direction, which we could call positive, 8 newtons in the down direction, which we could call positive, so we add them together and we get 0 newtons. So we know the resultant force on this object is 0 newtons, but can we show it, what that means in terms of a scale diagram for our vectors? So I've got my magic ruler out again, and I'm going to start drawing these forces as vectors from top to tail, and see what happens, see what I end up with. So I'm going to start with the green one first. So I need to do, because it's a scale diagram, I'm doing it the same length. So I'm going to go 3 of these units across here. If I move my ruler across, there's that. So that's the 6 newtons there. Then I've got to draw the next vector, top to tail, from where that one finished. So if I go yellow, so I now get this ruler here, so it's parallel with this one, and I'm going to go down. So for the same distance, this is the same side, 3, 4. So here's my 8 newtons. Oh no, undo that. Here's my 8 newtons there. Next, I'm going to draw the red one. So I've got to turn my ruler around again. So all these vectors I'm drawing are the same size. I've measured them out on there. And you can see by the way that I'm moving my ruler, as you'd use your protractor, that the angles are the same as well. So we've got to go red now. So now I'm going to do the 6 newtons across here. So that's on this scale 1, 2, 3. Take that away. That one might be slightly roughly 6 newtons. And then finally we've got to do the blue one, so I turn it right round up to there, and I'm going blue. Oh, can I find the blue? There's the blue, right. And then this should be, let's move through here, this should be 4 squares up if I've drawn it correctly, just about, maybe a tad off, but not bad. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is 8 newtons. So what you can see here, now you see me draw that, is by following this rule that I always have a top with a tail, so I could put my finger anywhere here and I can follow them round like this. I end up with this closed loop. And whenever you're drawing diagrams of vectors, if you get this closed loop, then the resultant vector is 0 because you ended up back where you started. And that matches, doesn't it? Because the resultant force here is 0 newtons. So that's just a little skill to bear in mind if you're dealing with situations where the object is in equilibrium. You can still use the scale diagram to show that it's in equilibrium because you get this closed loop. But really, really important, always have the tops with the tails. You can never have 2 tails or 2 tops together. That's wrong. We can't do that. Okay, so the final situation that we've got, the final skill we were looking at, was how to draw scale diagrams to resolve a vector into 2 perpendicular components. And this is essentially the opposite of finding the resultant vector, the resultant force. So let's imagine a situation where I've got one vector here. It's drawn to scale. It is 18 newtons in magnitude, and its angle above the horizontal is 66 degrees. Now, what we're going to do is find the horizontal and the vertical vector that essentially result in this resultant vector. And this process is called resolving the vector. So just to quickly, to start with, sketch what I mean by this. If this is our vector here, this vector could be made up of a horizontal vector across to here and a vertical vector up to there, and that would be a right angle there. So these 2 vectors, they're perpendicular, and we'd say that this is, maybe normally we say this is the x component, this is the y component. And if you start here and go along this far and then up this far, you get the same overall effect as this vector here. And these 2 vectors that are perpendicular are called the components. So we're resolving this vector and finding its components. Now you might ask, well, why would you bother? Because you've already got the resultant. But what's good is if you had, let's get a different colour quickly. If we had lots of vectors that you, all at funny angles that you wanted to add together, so you had this one, and maybe you had this one, and maybe you had that one. If you knew the perpendicular component, so if you knew it went across by this and up by this much, and then on this one you knew that that went across by that much and down by that much, and this one you knew it only went across by that much but up by that much. Actually, suddenly adding these together becomes really simple because you can just add this vector to this vector to this vector because they're all planar, and then you can just add this vector to this vector to this vector because they're all planar, and then you can find the resultant force from those. So it gives us a lot of skills if we're looking at more complex situations, and it's a really useful skill to have. So let's have a go at doing it in practice to scale. Okay, so I've got my special protractor ruler again, and I've lined it up so you can see here, so it's 90 degrees, so I'm going to start with my x vector, and I put that line just on there, and I'm going to go along there. I'm going to take it slightly longer than I need to so that I can measure the right length in a minute. So I turn this ruler so it's 0 degrees. Just that. I draw that line in there. I didn't take it quite far enough. So we can undo that. So we've drawn those in. We know they're at 90 degrees to each other, so that's the first challenge there. So this is our x1 and this is our y1. So now we've got to measure the size of them. So this one here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 on that one. On that scale, oh, that really is getting annoying. So that's 5.5 on that scale. And this one is 2.75 on that scale like that. And if we look at what the scale is over here, this one is 18 newtons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7 long, and that is 18 newtons. And so we want to say 5.5 therefore is equivalent to x, and 2.75 is equivalent to y. So having done those sums, what I did was I wrote out the ratios. So I said, oh, okay, so 7 on the scale of the ruler is equivalent to 80 newtons. So 5.5, which was this measurement down here on the ruler, is equivalent to x. And 2.75, which was the measurement on this ruler, is equivalent to y. So I said it just to set it up as ratios. So 18 over 7 is equal to x over 5.5. Rearrange it, get x equals 14 newtons. Did the same for y, and I get y equals 7.1 newtons. So this would be vertical and this would be horizontal. So that is how you find the two perpendicular components of a vector. So we're resolving this vector into a component in this direction and a component perpendicular in that direction. So there are our three skills that we were going to do. Drawing a scale diagram to find the resultant force of two coplanar forces. Number 2, drawing scale diagrams to find the resultant force acting on an object in equilibrium. Remember, they've got to be top to tail. And then finally, number 3, drawing scale diagrams to resolve a vector into its perpendicular components. And we're now going to practice those skills with some questions. It's really, really important that you're drawing scale diagrams with a ruler and a protractor, and you're marking out the angles correctly.